going to start by taking the lug nuts off. We're going to remove the wheel, use a 17mm socket. When I go to take the last one off, I'm just going to hold the wheel on so it doesn't fall, and pull the wheel off. Now we're going to take this nut off, use a 18mm socket. Take that off. Now to remove the tie rod from the knuckle, there is different front end tools you can use. You can use something that will grab on here and press it down if you want. If you're going to be replacing the tie rod, you can use a pickle fork. Just be careful with a pickle fork, sometimes it will rip the boot. There we go. Now I'm going to loosen up this bolt. You can use a Torx bit or use a socket. I'm going to use an 16mm socket and loosen this up. You can just loosen that up or take it out if you want. Now we can grab the tie rod. If you have to, you can use some pliers or a wrench to loosen this up if it's kind of tight. So I'm going to count the turns as I take it out. So that was 1, 2, 3, 24. So 25 turns to take it out. If you put the new one in there, then it's going to be closer for the alignment. Now take the pliers off. Now we're going to take this clip off, use some hose clamp pliers. And just slide it off, just like that. Way in the back here, there is a clamp attached to this boot. We're going to take a long pick and just go in that clamp. You'll see it a little better when I get it out. And then just take a hammer, just give it a tap. Just pry it out a little. And grab the boot and just slide it off. Just like that. Here's that clamp. That's what that clip looks like. Now we're going to use a tie rod tool, an inner tie rod tool. Slide this in position. There's many different tools you can use. This is kind of a universal one. And we'll just tighten it up, tighten the nuts down. What you want to do is take some locking pliers and as close to the outer tie rod as possible, crimp them down so that you can hold the shaft from spinning when you're loosening up the tie rod. If you can't use those, then do the best you can. It's just going to prevent any damage to the steering rack. Now I'm going to loosen this up. Make sure you hold those locking pliers at this point while you're loosening it. Once you get it free, then you can take that tool off. Because otherwise the tool will be in the way. And twist it out. You don't have to worry about the threads on this one. And there it is. Take the inner tie rod. You can put a little thread lock adhesive on there. And then get it started. And we'll take this tool. If you have a different style tool, you want to put that on. Should be good. And tighten that down. That's good. And then take the tool off. Slide it off. I'm just going to take a little grease, and right where the boot is going to go, just put a little grease. That's good. Now we can take the boot. For this boot, we're going to use a wire tie just to secure this, so you can get this started. You don't want to tighten it up too much, but Just get it around in that area. Slide it on. It's in that right location. And then slide it over the steering rack. Now I'm going to take that wire tie, get it lined up, and pull it tight. Try to pull it tight enough so that you can't twist the bellow boot, and that looks good. Now we're going to take the clamp with some hose clamps and slide that back on. Just get it over the boot. I'm going to have to twist it a little. And that can be good right there. Take the outer tie rod and get it started. And make sure you count the threads going back on, so you can put it back to where it was. Line the outer stud up with the knuckle, slide it through, put the nut on. Now we'll snug this down, and we'll torque that to 47 foot-pounds. Tighten up the jam nut. Then we're going to torque that to 22 foot-pounds. Put the wheel on. Get the lug nuts started. Now we're going to torque the lug nuts to 110 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check. After you're done this job, keep in mind you have to bring the vehicle to a local garage to have it aligned so you don't have premature tire wear.